Yo, you're locked into the Ckingpeace podcast. Myself, Christian King. We'll be picking the minds of creatives to get insight into how they try and stay happy, healthy, and balanced in this crazy world. Enjoy.
That's a good one.
Yo, welcome to the Ckingpeace podcast. Myself, Christian. I'm here today with Sami Switch.
What's going on?
He's a lyricist, songwriter, singer, event host. Anything else I'm missing?
Parkour.
Parkour,
No, I'm joking.
madman. But yeah, man, like we've known each other quite a few years, and like we worked on a tune called "Make Things Happen" a few years ago.
Yeah, still
And
a
I
banger.
just feel like we're on a similar vibe, like in terms of like the angle in music and in just life in general. So I thought it'd be cool to like pick your brain and see what's happening and like how you've been handling these times,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they've
yeah.
been rocky times and stuff. So I was gonna ask you like straight out of the box, like
Okay.
yeah, like obviously we just went through quite an intense period in like in life and in history in general and
Yeah.
stuff. I was wondering like how was that for you, and like how did you navigate them, like with the lockdown and stuff?
Yeah, man, it was a tough one because I had so much planned for that period. I was just about to drop an EP. I was just about to get some financial investment. I had big plans basically, and like most of the world, I think was just shocked and basically all of those things had to be put on pause, which I didn't take well. But I lived with my girlfriend and another couple, and they were working 9 to 5 in the house. And as a musician, I don't normally work those hours, so it was a bit. As a creative in general, I think we don't work those hours. But yeah, it hit me hard at first, like, and also waking up with all the shit continuously bad feeds from Facebook feeds and seeing what's going on in the world and the news in general just didn't deal with my mental well.
I feel you.
I was drinking a fair bit. I was waking up late. I was trying to work in the evening and be creative, but I ended up spiraling a bit. But
Yeah.
through time, the thing that normally happens with me, and I think a lot of people, is I see the green, then the orange, and then the red, and the alarm clocks go off, and I'm like, shit, I'm spiraling. So I
But-
switched.
Do you know what? Like, sorry to interject.
No,
it's
no,
it's
not
like,
at all.
bro, one thing I'll say is like having the awareness of that happening.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good like positive sign, because I feel a lot of people can get like caught up in these like waves of like impulsion and stuff, but they're not aware that they're being a certain way or like behaving like destructively towards
Yeah.
themselves. But because you saw it and recognized it,
yeah,
like I feel that that's like the first step to like changing the course.
yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think that's something that's taken years of just being through self-destruction
Yeah.
and self-loathing and bouts of anxiety and depression, realizing the signs before they occur and trying to stop them. But that's just life lessons in general, I guess. But yeah, towards the end of lockdown, I switched that up, started exercising. Like I was
Jeez.
just saying to you before,
Yeah.
finally the penny dropped that exercise actually makes you happy, which people have been telling me since I was a child, but you don't until you realize that yourself. It's a bit mad.
And it's one thing to know something, but to actually like feel it yourself is different.
100%, because then you've learned it. Even I might have taken a long route, but now I've kind of fallen in love with exercise. It's a love-hate relationship, which I think a lot of people have.
Yeah.
What about you, man? How's the lockdown been for you?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, it was interesting, man. Like I feel like it was a time where I feel like I'd been someone that was like kind of putting out a bit of a Zen persona into the world, but deep down I really struggled to sit with myself. And I
Okay.
feel like I was running away, like I was constantly like moving house or traveling or whatever, and I really struggled to like be by myself. So I was like constantly exercising like obsessively, and like yeah, I don't know, because I quit like all of the, like I quit the drink, I quit the weed, I quit everything. Like I did find it challenging at some points, because there was like periods of like 3 weeks where I was living completely by myself and I didn't see another human.
Yeah.
And I was in a random town, I didn't know anyone. I was just
Yeah.
staying at a friend's house, and like that was, yeah, it was challenging, man. Like, but I went into it with like, I was struggling, I'm not gonna lie, and I was like I was really scared that I was gonna crack up.
Yeah.
It's like I had this
Okay.
constant fear, like I was gonna crack up.
Lose your shit.
But then after a while, it kind of showed me that I was actually stronger than I thought,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it was just like a worry that was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah,
Do you
got
know what I
you.
mean?
100%, 100%.
But I feel like when you've gone through like a time like we've gone through, it like really brings everything out of you and shows your like true character. So I feel like it can like build more confidence and more strength going forward. Do
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
100%. It's interesting to hear you say you're you don't like being alone as much, because from what I know of you, or whenever we've spoken, you're always in a different country or doing a workaway project, or always living by yourself somewhere. So I
Yeah,
would find
yeah,
I would on the outside think that you loved being alone,
yeah,
innit?
yeah.
Or maybe, but then like
I need
it's
I need periods of being alone, like
yeah,
because I'm an introverted person and I need like periods of reflection and like to get grounded and stuff. But I find if I'm like, because I have that tendency to like think a lot and like delve into my mind and stuff, I find when I'm alone too much, it's like it's easy to get too inside your own head.
yeah, yeah,
And I feel
100%.
like one thing lockdown really taught me is like the importance of like community and serving other people, even if
Yeah,
it's something ridiculous, like just doing something small for someone else or checking up on someone or like,
it's important.
yeah, man, even
Yeah,
just cooking a meal for someone or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Not,
yeah,
yeah, like the thing we cooked up today.
yeah, yeah. That was banging. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's just small things that like take you out of yourself and stop obsessing over your own problems.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
in reality, like they're often like exaggerated in your mind.
100%, especially if you're alone and dwell on them. The more time you spend on them, the bigger they become. And it's
Yeah,
interesting, like, you said that, like, you thought you were gonna crack, and then it essentially built character. It's weird that there's this worry with a lot of people, with a lot of different things. There's this underlying worry, this weight on our shoulders, which we're always worried we're gonna that we can't carry it, or we're not strong enough to carry. But then a few months after it, or carrying it, or dealing with it, you're like, shit, I'm stronger than I am. It's like, is that worry necessary? Because then maybe it is for me to build
yeah, yeah,
character,
yeah.
but then also you spend days and weeks living in angst, which sucks, isn't it? So it's
Yeah,
an interesting one. I want to be able to be zen and peaceful at all times, but also sometimes my uncomfortable periods end up making me more comfortable in future
yeah, yeah, yeah.
experiences. Do you know what I'm saying?
And it can provide like creativity, man, and like
100%,
inspiration.
100%, definitely. That's why, yeah, I'll show you that spoken word I was telling you about earlier, because I wrote it pretty fucked up at the beginning of lockdown, and it was relative to, yeah, basically what we're talking about, innit?
If you want to run it now, you could.
I
I feel like you just introed it like so.
reckon?
Yeah,
I got to find it quick.
it's calm.
I think I have the notes, the time on it. I think it's like 4 a.m. in the morning.
Nah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Cause
Let me
like,
see.
yeah, your spoken word is like elite level. I feel the emotion in it. I'm not gonna lie. I swear that.
Oh, thank you for that. Yeah, so, yeah, here's something that I wrote recently. I said recently to my dad at a family reunion why he looked down and not up like everyone around him. He said the laughter sounded selfish and the wine turned ashen bitter, but he still grabbed the cup and downed it. I said the moment's sweet, get on your feet cause life is fleeting, keep on trying. He said, how can I do that when thousands of kids in Yemen keep on dying? While I fight to count my blessings, he gets paid to count his words. See, he translates the news all day and the news gets worse and worse. He said gratitude don't shake the guilt and our joy won't quench the thirst, knowing someone's always suffering, knowing for each blessing's a curse. He said you have a roof over your head and running water and you're safe. You celebrate and drink most days when there's nothing to celebrate. I said if that's the case then fucking hell dad, what do I do to ease this pain? He said fight until you're mad, help who you can and seize the day.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's that one.
Say no more. Very powerful, man.
Thank you, brother.
I rate that.
Safe.
That's sick. Yeah, I had a question for you actually.
Yeah, sweet.
I was gonna say you're someone that's like very expressive and open and honest in your music.
Yeah.
Right. Was that like always the case? And do you like? What was I gonna say? Yeah, like what motivates you to like be so vulnerable in your music and like, because it's easy. A lot of people just put on a front and they put on a mask and they make what they think people want to hear and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But they're not true to themselves. But I see you as someone who like you express what you're feeling and
Yeah, yeah.
it's honest and raw. So like, yeah, what's the motivation behind that?
I guess, firstly, therapy, because
Yeah.
it lets out whatever I'm doing. Music has always been, whether it's poetry, songwriting or rapping or whatever it is, or just essentially expressing myself through word. Writing down my thoughts or how I'm feeling is a therapeutic way to deal with it. When I was younger, my dad would when I was getting in trouble at school a lot, my dad would make me come home and write about my day from beginning till end. Essentially, I didn't know why at the time, and I found it annoying. But I actually, as I got older, I've actually forgotten about this. This is weird. That
Yeah.
you just brought this memory back. But why he would do it is, firstly, I think if I got in any trouble, then I could align the two stories and see if it was true or not. But secondly, to spend an hour reflecting and writing about your day is growth. Keeping a diary and
I think it's powerful.
yeah, it's actually a really good sick lesson. But
Helps you to unjumble the mind, doesn't it?
100%, and maybe have some more clarity of the day and what actions you would have changed, and maybe plant a seed for growth in it. But I think vulnerability definitely come from. I used to and still do occasionally write a lot when I'm drinking, which is naturally makes you more.
I don't know how you do that, man. I would have like one drink, I wouldn't be able to write anything.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Seen? Well, I think I've just trained myself to do it. It's which is weird because my day to day is working with various different musicians, and some musicians love it, and some musicians are like, we don't really drink in our studio, which is. But then some people will be smoking weed all day, or some people
everyone's
will be
got their
on something
different
else.
views.
100%. But that was definitely the case when I was younger, because I was dealing with a lot of like psychological pain, and when I was drinking, I felt more like, and also who I was around, I felt comfortable with Black Magic and with my close friends speaking about this shit, being drunk. And when you're drunk, you open up naturally anyway.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it just resonated, and I got letters and messages from people around the world saying how it's helped them through their own depressions or own things. And then I found like maybe this is it helps me, it helps others. Why not? And it works. Like I don't feel ashamed of anything that I'm going through. It's the human experience. Obviously, there's some guilt and shame and regret in little things in my life, but I don't feel ashamed of telling my story. Essentially, I want a novel to listen back to. When I'm older, and show my kids, or be when it's the appropriate age, and be like, oh, that's how I felt at 16, or this is how we feel at 27. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I feel like, like you talking about what's honest and raw to you, there's always going to be someone that's like, oh shit, this guy's like depicting exactly what I've been going through this time. Even if, because I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like when I'm writing, this could just be like a negative character trait that I have, like over-analyzing. I'm just like, but who would want to hear about like my story and my pain and stuff, because it's like not that important in the grand scheme of things, but it can help people going through similar situations. Even though it sounds cliche, I think it can really can touch people. So
that's it. It's just also a balance between how much ego you put into it, because if you start saying my life is this and my life is that, and it's all
so
about
much harder
me,
than
it's all
yours,
about me, and then it's a bit different than mine's being maybe a bit more ambiguous, and I might throw in one line of just being like, so that day I got that phone call that this happened, and this is how I felt, and this is how I move forward with it. I've realised recently a lot of my music kind of comes from pain, but there's a lot of darkness to light, kind of like I'm dealing with it, and you can too, kind of thing, without sounding preachy.
I feel that even from the last EP, the fact that it was called Solace, you know, that says a lot. But I was gonna ask you about your you're working on a new EP, right? I saw you post about that, and I was just gonna see like how does it differ from your last EP? Like, and do you feel like it reflects your growth as a person, or is it a different kind of angle? Or?
I mean, 100%. It's different because I'm older, wiser, fatter.
Nah, you're a good shape, man. Yeah.
More weathered, and the production quality has gone up crazy because of since I've been signed, I've been working with a much bigger and better amount of producers, and also I am more sharp with my sword, man. I know what I'm doing, so I need to send you some stuff actually.
Yeah, man. That would be sick.
But yeah, it's a lot about gratitude. It's a lot about the changes in my life. It's a lot about free. It's basically just a kind of hopeful protest and a journey towards freedom and the bumps along the way, innit? I need to write that down. I do whatever I just said because
Yeah, no, that sounds sick.
But yeah, I haven't got a name yet. But I was thinking the main song on it is called, well, it's Thank You, and it's literally called Thank You. And my friend Thomas Jules sang on it, and the chorus is literally, "Thank you for giving me life. It's like a mirror when I look into your eyes." And it's literally fucking just saying to thank you to everyone in your life for keeping you alive, essentially.
Jeez.
So, but I don't know if thank you is too much of like just a niche. I mean, a cliche term
Yeah.
for an EP. So
I don't know. I don't think so, man.
Yeah.
If that's what you're
feeling.
Yeah. Like,
The other thing I was worried about is like if you type in "thank you" on Spotify, there's probably a million things.
mate, yeah.
The other
I don't
idea
know.
was chrysalis, isn't it? Which is like the period where caterpillar turns into a butterfly, isn't it?
Jeez, that's nice. I
Do you
like that
reckon?
as well. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
metaphor.
Exactly. So
And yeah, also it would be more searchable. And
exactly. But yeah, I haven't yet put a finger on it. But yeah, man, I'll send you some shit. Definitely, I'll show you some actually
that
after
would be
this
sick. That would be
podcast.
sick. I wanted to ask you about a lyric in particular. Yeah.
Yeah, go
and
on.
it was a lyric that I think spun me off my own tune. Like
Okay.
when you did the feature on my tune.
Yeah.
It was like, I used to think I had serious problems. Then I worked with refugees and saw serious problems.
Yeah.
Like when I heard that lyric, I was like, oh shit. And like I don't think, like obviously I'm not some like uppity snobby guy, but I'm not impressed by like mad lyrics, you know. But that was like a lyric that I was like, shit, like that's a sick lyric. But
Man, that song's sick. Your verse was sick on it as well.
safe, man. But I just wanted to ask you like about that experience, like working with those refugees, like what brought that about, like, and how was that for
Okay,
you?
sick. So I used to be, when I was like, I don't know, 14, 15, and this is like the times of kidulthood was released and shit. I wanted to act because I acted when I was younger, so I signed up to Reading Youth Theatre, which is like, I don't know, I said theatre.
Yeah,
Reading Youth
theatre.
Yeah, and I started meeting on these different types of people, but it was a time where I was a little hoodlum and a bit chavvy and like in a gang and shit. So I felt a bit outcast and I didn't really put my all in, but slowly I was welcomed and like these people became like family to me. And we did a play about a young kid in Palestine, which I learned a lot about, and we then did a play about refugees, and they're basically a lot of the basis of the writers and the people that ran the youth theatre were involved in these charities and these things, and then a few years later they said we're working with these young refugees and we're actually writing a play for them to act in, but we want to boost their confidence and everything. Would you come down and do some spoken word workshops with them? And I was like gassed at the opportunity, so I came, kind of wormed my way through a little workshop, like kind of worked out how a workshop works, and some of their stories were just incredible, man. And then I ended up spending a lot more time with them and ended up going to their play ended up going to Edinburgh Fringe Festival and touring.
Jeez.
It was really sick. Got some really cool friends there, but when you'd ask them, I remember one night it wasn't really an exercise, we were chilling, but someone was asking them what do you want in life, kind of thing. And if you ask a 16, 17-year-old that in England, they'll be like, I don't know, I want to be a doctor, or I want to make £1 million, or I want to be on Love Island, or do you know what I'm saying?
Famous
or some shit like that. Where these guys were like, I want to bring electricity to my village, or like, I want my mum to be happy, or I want my cousin's family I want everyone in my family to be fed every day. I want them to come to England. And I was just there like, oh my God, man, I think I've had some shit.
It's humbling, isn't it?
It's humbling. I think I've had some shit. I haven't, like, I'm worried because I think I've said something wrong to someone in a pub that they're dwelling on, like, and these lot haven't spoken to their parents since they've been fucking kidnapped in the desert 3 years ago, and they don't even know if they're alive anymore. And it's very much...
It does put things in perspective, innit?
100%, it checks you. And these people and these kids, they're so grateful, they're so happy, they're so glad to see you, even though they're probably suffering with PTSD or have their own problems. And then I'm there in my own world, and then I realised, I used to think I had serious problems, man. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, yeah, no, honestly, man, that lyric really did touch me. So, if you haven't heard that tune, it's on YouTube still. It's on Section Red's channel. It's called Make Things Happen.
Yeah, banger. I think we both spun that verse, man.
Yeah, I like that tune. It was
Yeah.
just like it was just a chill, zony tune. It
Yeah.
wasn't too like outlandish. Like it
We didn't
was,
even try to push it too much or anything, but I just
no.
think it's going to be something in the future which people,
Yeah,
whoever comes
I have to
across
try and
it,
put it on streaming because it should have gone on my EP. I don't know why I didn't. There was a phase where I did like 3 or 4 tunes that should have gone on an EP, but I just
yeah.
put them out as singles.
Are they on Spotify? Is it on
No,
Spotify or
I should
anything?
put it.
Bro, you should put it on
Oh,
Spotify.
bro, I was a bit too stressed. I was like working. I was working a lot, and I was at uni, so I was juggling a lot, and I wasn't
Yeah.
really like didn't have a
Bro,
clear.
put that on your to-do list because I'd love that song needs to be out in the world, man. It's really sick.
No, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. There was
even a boy on the hook is fucking.
oh Broby,
Yeah,
shout out to
yeah.
Broby.
Yeah,
That
that's sick.
was. Oh yeah, I have to share how that hook came about because that was so random.
Yeah.
Like I moved into like this student house for like 3 months and like I didn't know them and like one day I knew Broby made music as well, but one day at like 2 in the morning I made the beat for that tune.
Yeah.
And I could tell before that like I tried to show Broby like a lot of different beats, but he was like a bit like he wasn't really
Not
like
really on it, yeah.
wasn't vibing it that much. And then I was making this other one, and he could hear it when he came in, and he was like, "Yo, what's this, man? What's this? What's this?" So he just came in and just like sat in my room and was just listening to it for a bit. And he was just like, "Yeah, I've got a hook. I've got a hook." He was like mad that yeah, just like straight away inspired and just like put it down at like 2 in the morning. I was like, "Bro, I didn't even know you could sing." He's like, "I don't really sing that much, man," but it just
That's mad.
came out of him. So like,
That's so sick.
I was happy to do that.
Yeah, but it works really well, man.
Thanks, man. But there was another question I had for you actually. It was about you put on an event called Milk My Words.
Yeah.
And you've still been doing it throughout the lockdown on like live and that. But yeah, I had the pleasure of performing at that a couple years ago.
Yeah. You
And
killed
like
it.
I'd never really like I'd done spoken word like one time before that, but yeah, man, it was a really intimate gig and like yeah, like the room was like a good size for it to feel like full. Like
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
mad nervous about that, but it was like everyone who was there like really like went in.
There's a lot of love there.
Yeah,
as well.
and like I was gonna say like what made you want to start that, and do you have any like plans for that like?
Okay, scene. So basically, I was doing like the spoken word circuit in London and Brighton, and I was also doing So Far Sounds. I don't know.
Oh
if you
yeah,
know
yeah,
So
I heard
Far
of them. I heard
Sounds,
of them.
which is a brilliant concept. Which I think I might be wrong. I might be wrong, but I think this is how it started. These guys were at a gig once, and everyone had their phones out, and was recording, and you couldn't really hear and chatting and blah, blah blah. And they were like, "This isn't what we came to the gig for," and they decided just to get some musicians around their house. And then it was bring your own booze and just sit down and have an intimate gig, and then it basically just grew, and then people can apply to have it at their house and etc. Now it's a worldwide thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is so sick. And I was doing the So Far Sounds, but I was thinking, there's nothing like this in Reading, so I walked around various different cafes and shops, trying to find a place to do something along the lines of that. And luckily for me, I found Milk because the owner. Tim
So
Hooper-
Milk's the venue, innit? Yeah.
Milk is the venue, yeah. It's it's one of the only like independent bars in Reading. The owner's wicked. Well, there's 3 owners now, but they I really get on with them. And as you've been there, it's wicked, man. And like they've got a vegan cafe underneath. And
I
it's,
didn't know
like,
that.
Yeah, it's a
That's
cool
sick.
shed. But it's a perfect size, perfect place. I like the fact that it's independent. I like the fact that I'm friends with the owners. And yeah, man, I just get a few artists from my journeys basically to come and perform.
That's big.
And as you've seen, a lot of my friends and I don't want to say fans, but music people think it's the only place you can really get a lot of intimate gigs in Reading. So it usually runs quite smoothly, man.
So do you see like, oh, obviously it's difficult to know when you'll be starting that again at the moment.
Yeah.
But like, where could people like? Because I know you're doing the live ones. What's the @ and that on Instagram for that?
Okay, so it's just my Instagram basically, which is Sami Switch. So it's SAMI_switch, and you'll see the weird.
Because you perform at it
wonderful
as well,
world.
innit?
Yeah, I perform. I don't perform at every one, but I host it basically. But I perform at maybe 1 out of every 3. Because I don't want it just to get jarring with people hearing me every single time. But then every time I do it, more time people when they get late, they're like, "Sammy, bust something quick, innit?" And like I end up.
Yeah, and you
doing
know you
some-
enjoy it when you do
Yeah,
it, innit?
I do. But I also get nervous before, man. I'm terrible with nerves, bro. So even if I'm not performing, like just with anything, it's such
Bro,
a
I feel you. Like
it's a weird
you-
alignment being an entertainer, but also suffering with nervousness and anxiety.
I remember being when I did that Milk My Words event, I hadn't performed in ages.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember literally, I don't know if you clocked, I was crazy nervous that
Yeah, yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas to the point where I couldn't even be around people because
Yeah.
I hadn't performed in like a year and a half, so I was just like, or a year maybe.
Man, I can't
So
talk to anyone before I go on stage. I have to be.
I had to go to the bathroom and
Yeah.
literally I had my journal with me. It's funny you're talking about journals afterwards. Like I was literally like, I was writing, I had to write out affirmations. I had to basically CBT myself in it.
Yeah, mad.
I was like, I've done this before. Nothing crazy has happened. Like the worst that's gonna happen is I flop, and then what? Like people will forget
I didn't
within a
know
week
this.
or
That's
two.
crazy.
And like yeah, I had to do some breathing. Like in for
Mad.
4, in for 4, out for 6. That's what I always do when I feel like that.
Mad.
And yeah, man, that's something I really struggled with throughout my whole music like thing. But that's how you know. Like even with this podcast today, I think the reason I've been procrastinating with like starting a podcast and like getting it going, even though it's something I've been wanting to do for like 2 years,
Yeah.
is because it's something I actually really care about, like
Yeah.
how it comes out. And when it's something you care about, I think that's when you can get like
You worry about it.
yeah.
100%.
But if it's something's blasé,
It's whatever.
then it could be like I had a job interview the other day for a temporary job that I really didn't give a fuck about, and I was just way too confident.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think
yeah.
they knew like
You
that.
don't care, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. I think, yeah, it's definitely because it's our craft. Whenever I go to perform, I feel sick. I feel physically sick. I am sick sometimes
Yeah.
before I perform.
Around some Eminem 8 Mile shit. I've never had that actually.
Yeah, I literally, I have to go throw up, like, which is weird, but you get used to it. You get used to the fear, and then you get used to the euphoria after the fear.
That feeling.
Yeah.
For anyone who has like fears, like the feeling after pushing through is just like
Especially
so
when,
empowering.
Yeah, especially when the crowd are coming up and telling you
Yeah,
you're
it's
sick.
such a rush, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so sick. It's actually better than like any drug, man, other than mushrooms.
Yeah, I still
No
need to
jokes.
try it one
It's,
day.
it's a real high. That's what my thing is now. Before I go on, I go like I always have a fight or flight moment because my mind goes wild and it starts making excuses like
Yeah.
how I could not do the gig in that, or how
Yeah.
I could like maybe there's a way out of this, and then it's like, well, if you can't do that now, you're here, like.
Yeah.
But you hear about these massive stars. Like apparently, I read something that Robbie. Who's that big Robbie?
Robbie Williams.
Yeah, Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's like fucking. Obviously, he's even got a song called Entertainer or something.
Yeah.
He was like the worst with fucking nerves. Like you
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
surprised, right?
No,
but as soon as you
100%.
sing the first line at Glastonbury or something, then it's all gone. But imagine about before Glastonbury, bro. Glastonbury main stage, which is obviously something I aspire to
that
do.
must be terrifying.
Man,
I can't
like-
lie, bro.
You'd ruin it. Like that's what Stormzy said, that he did his Glastonbury headline thing, and there's something wrong with his headphones, and he came off stage. Apparently, it was really sad. Did you watch that, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Watch it, bro. It's inspiring. Like Stormzy killed it, but came off stage and was like, I've messed everything up, and everyone was like, bro, this is so sick. But
Yeah,
he
like,
thought he did a shit job. But
Yeah,
it was
because it's
insane.
easy to like. Yeah, I feel like I resonate with that, man. It's easy for like the inner critic to like focus on that one little thing you
Small
messed
nick,
up
yeah.
and feel like you completely destroyed it in a bad way. But then everyone who's like there or like they got a clip of you doing it or something, and it's like, oh shit, actually, like
Yeah, you're like, this is actually alright.
that energy can carry you. Like
100%.
it's mad.
Definitely watching back some gigs where I thought it's been rubbish. I'm still can focus on the small things though. You always will as a creative, I think.
Do you have any pre-performance rituals like to like help you calm yourself?
Breathing,
or-
definitely. I used to chant, man. I used to literally go home namai
Oi.
degaya, home namai.
People think it's some
degaya.
far out shit, but like, there's something to chanting,
Yeah.
man, without sounding too hippie, because people already have that stigma with me. But
Yeah,
like, I honestly feel that chanting's a, like,
mate. Fucking, it's definitely calming, man. And that chant, I read it in a book called The Science of Self-Realization, and it basically, I think that was the book I read it from. And it was, yeah, I mean, it just means, oh, great mother, come to me. And I think it's some ancient ritual. And it's basically, I just find that, I don't know, the more you chant it, the more centered you become. I can end up doing, I've been with some friends in Ireland in the middle of a field chanting that for like an hour, man, and getting a high off it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can literally, you go somewhere. It's an incredible power. But then again, like, if someone said that to me a few years ago, I'd be like, you're on crack. Like, so
Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
It's a different perspective. Someone listening to this might be like, what the hell are they talking about? But if you find the right chant and you go to the right place and chant the same thing long enough, you'll force yourself into a meditation.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think. Do you know what I'm saying?
I've seen you post about those sessions actually in Ireland where you've gone with like a few close mates that
Yeah,
are also
yeah.
artists into the countryside.
Yeah.
That looks sick, man.
Mate, that's where my family's from. It's the most beautiful place. It's where my
Yeah.
Irish family are from.
Right,
It's
I've
so
got heritage
beautiful.
there as well. I need to
Need
go.
to come through, bro.
I need to go at some point.
Man,
But
it's
I was
so
gonna
good.
ask, like, do you feel like more inspired in those like rural? It's a rural setting, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
feel more inspired in those rural settings, or when you go to like London to do your sessions? Like,
I'm inspired in different ways, isn't it? I think because in Ireland, it's definitely rural. The people are different. There's a lot more welcoming arms. My family roots are there. Everyone knows each other. The scenery is beautiful. I'm a lot calmer and I'm a lot drunker, but it is definitely really inspiring just because of how beautiful it is, the nature of the people and the nature of the settings around you. London, I'm inspired because, like I said to you earlier, I can walk down Brick Lane and I've got
Yeah.
1,000 stories to tell by the end of it because
some
there's
interesting characters knocking about Brick
interesting
Lane
characters,
always.
man, and you'll see every culture. You'll hear an argument. You'll see someone making out. You'll see someone. You'll see some Hare Krishnas. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're continuously stimulated, and to some people that can be stressful. To some people, inspiring. Depends on what day it is, I guess, as well. What space my head's in, because some days I'm like walking around London like this is beautiful. Some days I'm like, get the fuck out my way, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just get to A to B, but like some days I can take it slow and really enjoy just watching life, looking at life and taking it all in. Do you get me?
Yeah. No, I feel that. I had like one last question for you to wrap it up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Like, I was gonna ask, like, in a year's time from now, in like an ideal scenario, like, where would you like to be at from a like professional and music standpoint, and where would you like to be at as a person? Like, what like personal characteristics do you feel that you want to cultivate and work on? Like,
I want to be God. I want to have a cult. I'm joking.
Jeez.
I want you. No, I'm joking. I want you. Professionally, I want to have some music out, and I want to be making a sustainable living off music. Because at the moment, it's very touch and go, especially with COVID, etc. I want to share my music as far as possible, for my own sake and for hopefully I think it's quite helpful and good music, and I'm proud of it. But as a person, I just want to be more physically and mentally in shape is my main goal, and more financially stable because I've become so okay with not having much that it's.
I relate to that.
Yeah, I'm like that. It's not really a problem for me too much, but then it can become a problem for your lifestyle or people around you. Like I can't go on a nice holiday with my girlfriend sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Where I feel like I should be able to do that. But for me, it's a bit different. So just basically more centered, in better physical shape, and with some money in my pocket, basically, would be great. But I think that's the most obvious answer, isn't it? But it's the truth.
But they like, I think they're the foundations that can like help you flourish in other areas.
This is it. I didn't realize. I spoke to a friend recently who was like to me, "You should look at getting some work in maybe something that's not surrounded around music, which is difficult because my diary is pretty much full from studio sessions from a label.
That can come with put pressure on the music.
100%, 100%. But then it was like, as a creative, I never really thought about this. If you've got weight in your mind financially or about other stresses, it's taking up space of creative freedom. Like it's taking up space where there would be more time to think freely instead of spending
100%.
spending time focusing energy on these things that are weighing you down, where essentially that energy could be on lifting you up, which made me really realize maybe I should try and get some peas, because I've had peas and I've lost peas and I've made peas and I've lost peas.
It always comes and goes, like
100%.
But I relate to you about freeing up space, because I've also been in a bit of a situation where it's like, should I go down this route and take this job? Should I go down this route and take this job? And like, I feel like that energy takes away energy that like you could be using to do other things.
Yeah.
Like create, because like, I feel like stress and creativity are not really conducive Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, I feel like freeing up that space is definitely only going to be a
Positive.
positive thing.
Yeah, definitely, man. And with stress comes the ways to try and relieve it, which with someone who has vices can end up in a dark tunnel. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Where essentially freedom should be natural and not through a liquid or chemical.
yeah.
Do you get me?
But everyone's a work in progress, man. And I think you're doing well, man. And since I last saw you in Bristol, when was that? Was that last time I saw you? No,
Yeah.
it wasn't. I saw you at the Milk My Words.
It's been like
But we didn't. But that was like a social event where
Yeah.
we didn't really get to like.
proper chat.
Yeah. So I think definitely since the last time I saw you in Bristol, which I think that was 2018 or 2017.
Oh, right.
I feel like you seem a lot more like, even though you might not think it.
Yeah.
Because you're inside, like, but when you don't see someone for a while, you notice. Like,
Yeah.
To me, you seem like much more calm and centered.
Oh, sick. Well, likewise,
And it was cool
man.
to like hang with you today and just like, yeah, like relate about life and stuff.
Yeah, it's been really nice actually, man. I needed it. I had a bad morning, so now I feel a lot more calmer, and it's been good to chat. Go to that cafe, have some CBD.
Oh
That
yeah,
place was banging.
shout out to Total Health Cafe in Swindon. I found myself living in Swindon at the moment as
Yeah.
an in between stage, but it's surprised me in certain ways. Like it's got a lot of parks and it's got a lot of like you can get out into the nature quick. But yeah, we went to this cafe called the Total Health Cafe, which is like a CBD cafe / art gallery. So
Yeah.
if you're ever in Swindon
Yeah.
or you want to come and meet up with me and we can jam, that's where I always go with my people.
Yeah, it
'cause,
was
like,
really nice. Really,
yeah, it's
I
a
really
chill
like that
vibe.
place.
And
would
the
come back
CBD
just.
is strong as well, man. I've been feeling mad floaty for this.
Yeah,
podcast, man.
trust. No, it's good. I think that might be. I liked how there was a sign in there saying "Start your CBD journey here" because
Jeez.
I'm intrigued in finding a way to deal with anxiety that isn't conducive to like I said, a negative liquid or chemical. Do you know what I mean?
I think
Feels
CBD
right.
has potential to be that, and also like the food and stuff that you consume as well. I think everything has like a characteristic and like it can like contribute to your mind. Like I don't know if you've heard about the gut mind connection.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
which
feel
is something
we're
that's
controlled
crazy,
by our
yeah.
gut. So it's like everything you put in your body is either like making you feel good or making you feel bad. Like
Yeah.
building health or building disease. Like,
Yeah.
even though it's an extreme way to look at it.
Yeah, no, that's why I think a lot more my food has become a lot more vegetarian or plant based.
Yeah.
With occasional bits of fish and meat, but because I was having lots of stomach pains and like, whenever I was anxious, I could feel it in my stomach a lot. And then someone told me about this gut
That's
mind
something I relate
connection.
to as well.
I didn't realize that it had such power over your feelings and shit, like what you were eating and all the rest
Definitely,
of it.
man.
So it's something that I'm way more conscious of, which is a journey of its own, isn't it?
Definitely,
You know
man.
what I'm saying?
But bro, it's been sick to chat to you, man, and I feel like it was a sick way to like start the Ckingpeace podcast. I knew that I wanted to start it with you because I
Yeah.
thought it would like start it off on a sick note.
Sick.
And like I'm looking forward to like seeing what you come with. You got a single coming out soon.
Yeah,
as well,
it's
right?
called Temperature.
Yeah,
Man.
that would be sick. And where can people like find your work? Like what's
So on Spotify, it's just Sami Switch again, SAMI Switch, and same with Facebook and Instagram, man. Or YouTube. Yeah, man. I'm out here,
that's it.
and I'm friendly, so come say hi.
All right, sweet. All right.
Yeah, it's been nice, man. Thank you for having me.
Likewise, bro. Well, all the best, man. Take it easy.
Big love, bro.
Safe, man. Peace.